We are live. What's up? My name's Rob. I'm in recovery from a gambling addiction. Today, I'm going to answer your questions about gambling, gambling addiction, and addiction recovery. So, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay, I hope that you can get some value out of the conversation that we're going to have here today. So, yeah, I guess we'll just see what happens. But back on November the 12th, 2022, I made my last bet, which was a 12-hour binge gambling session in which I put myself into debt for about the following 6 months working two jobs. So hopefully throughout the conversation tonight, and maybe if you see other content from this page, you can avoid going down the same path with your life that I went down with mine. The number one way that you can support if you're here early is by leaving a like on the video. It tells YouTube that, hey, you like this video, and maybe someone else would like it too. And it sends it out to more people as we go tonight. And the more people, the more questions, the more answers. It's just a wonderful world, isn't it? So let me know if you have any questions that would fit the bill, and we are getting started here. So, a big question I usually get is, how do I quit gambling? The 4 things that you should focus on are finding alternative things to do with your time that matter to you, limiting access to money that would tempt you to gamble. Like, I had my mom control my bank account at first in recovery, which felt bad, but made a big difference. Self-excluding from the casinos to make it more difficult to access gambling itself. And of course, 4, going to support group meetings. You don't have to do this on your own. I thought I was the only person on earth that had this addiction, the only person on earth that couldn't stop gambling once I started. But what I realized is that wasn't the case at all. There's many people out there, and getting into a room with them could make a big difference in your own recovery journey. All right, here we go. We got some comments and questions rolling in. I appreciate y'all. 6 days clean. Congratulations, my friend. You're making 100K a year. Congratulations. But yeah, that's how it goes with gambling. We're not supposed to win. That 100K can easily turn into 0 or even less if we end up in debt. But the good news is you have a good baseline for earning. You have a lot of potential going forward, and it's only going to go up, right? As long as we're working hard, we're putting that next foot forward. So hopefully the conversation tonight, this channel in general, can help you to leave gambling behind. It's kind of crazy how much money we can accumulate when we stop wasting it all away. But it's going to move a lot slower than we're used to. We're used to these quick hits, money in, money out really fast, but that's not sustainable, as we have learned. Let's see, in a previous live stream, I had mentioned that I lived in Sydney for 3 months. Talk about that. Yeah, so I lived in Sydney from January of would have been 2020 until like late February of 2020, early March. And the reason that I was only there for that short amount of time, I was doing a semester abroad in college in Sydney, was because of COVID hitting, and they sent everyone home. But during the 3 months that I was there, like the day that I landed, I I was 20 years old, so I wasn't 21 yet the day that I landed. And I, instead of going to my student accommodation, went directly to the Star Casino, and I played poker for like 6 hours. And that was after like basically 24 hours of traveling. I'm not able to sleep on planes, so I was basically just wired, staying up straight through it, just going straight to the casino. And that was my day pretty much. Throughout my gambling, like a lot of it was online, but in Sydney particularly, I like doing it in person, and it's because there's like a bet shop within like a stone's throw anywhere that you go. There's also a casino that was a 10-minute walk from where I did end up living, so that was kind of what led me to go to a lot of the in-person stuff. But it was just a continuation of the same behaviors that I had at home, except at home I was doing most of it online. I don't know that gambling is a low IQ activity. Like, realistically, a lot of the people that end up with a gambling addiction are pretty smart. Like, we put ourselves in situations that are dumb or seeming to be dumb, but it's because we convince ourselves that we're smarter than the other people that ended up in that position. I'd be interested in seeing if there's like a correlation graph between IQ and addiction, because I think the smarter people actually tend to get addicted to things, which is incredible and seems like counterintuitive. I guess there's a lot of reasons that could be the case. For me, it was like I felt like I could outsmart the book, that it was a challenge, right? That I was going to be the big winner and everyone else was the loser. It's not how it ended up. Let's see. You were clean for 1 year, ended up getting 20K in debt, got roped in with a free bet and started losing it all again. Scared to tell family and friends. Well, that's what the free bets are there for. They're to get you back in. So no shame in that. Just recognize that that's what will happen again if you take up another free bet. But telling family and friends, right? It's like we build it up in our heads that we can't possibly tell someone. Like, this is too insane. They won't understand. I'm too ashamed. Like, these kinds of things. But the moment that we rip that Band-Aid off and actually talk to them is the moment that we have someone on our side in the recovery journey. So it might be hard, it might feel hard, but doing it's going to be incredibly valuable to you going forward. I think it's like the number one thing you can do is tell someone what's going on. Just came clean to everyone, want to pay your debts and recover. Well, congratulations on that, my friend. And you will pay your debts, you will recover, you will get that house and that car. Absolutely. But trying to get it through gambling is only going to lead to further debt. So you're on the right path, my friend. What do I think about game shows with money risking element like Wheel of Fortune, Deal or No Deal, Press Your Luck? I mean, like, I grew up watching them. I found them very entertaining. Gambling behavior itself is totally normalized by society. So I guess I don't really have a firm opinion on them. It's not like I blame Deal or No Deal for me developing a gambling addiction, right? But I do remember hearing about this interview that Howie Mandel did, where he said like it was always shocking to him when like he would have like someone who was like a school teacher come on, right? And their salary might have been like $50,000 a year, and they're given an offer by the banker for like 200 grand, and they're like, no, that's not enough. I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing. He was always shocked at how people kept going despite their actual financial reality. And I think that gambling warps our perception and value of money. So that's kind of my take on it, really. What's up, guys? Thanks for being here. And as I continue to answer questions, the number one way you can get this stream to reach more people and play a part in getting this message out there is leaving a like on the video. Basically, when you hit like, YouTube's like, wow, he likes it. Maybe someone else will like it. Let me send it to them too. And it kind of just spirals from there. So more likes equals more questions, more answers. Fred, yeah, I don't know if there's a correlation. There very well might be. Like, I just legitimately do not know. Types of gamblers and IQ, types of gamblers and like logic, decisions. I don't quite know. All I know is when you develop a gambling addiction, there's no logic to it anymore. It's just, I need to make that next bet. It's a life or death situation. So if you guys have questions about gambling addiction, and addiction recovery, I am here for presumably the next hour or so. So thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, let me know. Drop them in the chat. Would be happy to answer what you got. I'm chewing a cough drop because every time I do these live streams and I sit in this spot, I get cat hair in my mouth somehow. And then I start choking and coughing. And people that have been here a couple weeks in a row, like, I've taken the phone into my fridge while I'm filling up my water so that I don't have to like stop talking. And it's so goofy. All right, here we go. What do you wish you had done differently with all the money you lost gambling? Not even worth thinking about it. It's not. Because you can point to anything and be like, oh, I would have bought Bitcoin, or if I held my Bitcoin, I would be a millionaire, or something like that, right? Oh, if I didn't sell my stocks to gamble, I would be a millionaire. It doesn't help, though. Like, you could sit here and fantasize all day about what if. What if I stopped here? What if I did this instead? It doesn't matter. Because for me, I was always going to end up losing everything. That was my addiction. That's what I ended up going and doing for 6 years. So instead of thinking about it like that, the way that I like to think about it is saying, that was my tuition payment. That's how much I had to spend to learn that gambling was always going to end the same way for me. That's what I go with. You love the thumbnail. Thanks. I shot it like a minute ago. I just filmed 4 videos before this, so I'm on the grind tonight. 1 week without gambling. Congrats, Devin. That's dope. I'm really happy to hear that. Everyone comment how long it's been since their last bet, even if you're still actively gambling. It'll give me a better idea of where you guys are at in your journey and might change kind of the way that I approach answering questions. How is it possible to become addicted? Like, how do you know you're addicted to gambling? Can anyone be addicted? How can anyone be addicted to losing money? It's not about losing money. It's not about winning money. It's about placing a bet. It's like, you probably intuitively understand why someone could get addicted to alcohol or drugs, right? You're like, oh, well, when they drink or when they use that drug, it gives them a high. Well, for gambling, it's the exact same thing. But the high comes from the risk. It comes from that period of time between placing a bet and finding out the result. That's what you get addicted to. Winning and losing is just whatever. It's the effect. It's the end outcome. But what you're really after is just continuous action. And it works the same as any other kind of addiction. If you want to come on the pod, yeah, hit me up. Send me an email. The email is linked in the profile section here on YouTube. Would love to have you on. Shoot me a message. Thus, on platforms like Prize Picks, it's gambling but a bit different. It's just gambling, and they've classed themselves in a different way so they can market to kids, is my opinion on it. Gambling for me is any betting or wagering for self or others, whether for money or not, no matter how slight or insignificant, where the outcome is uncertain or depends upon chance or skill. Can you be a guest on the live stream? I don't know how to add guests on the live stream, so I'm just going to say no. With that being said, one day I would like to figure that out, and we'll do that, but not today. I've never considered myself a gambling addict, but I gambled real money in 2019 at a Wheel of Fortune audition. Didn't win much from the free play. Whole thing went to a restaurant tip. Dope. You don't have to be a gambling addict to be here. My hope is that the content that I put out on this page can help you or a loved one, or even just for you to better understand the reality that gambling addiction is a real thing. Like, it's insane how I've been doing this content now for like 3 years. And I would say the public opinion of gambling addiction has not changed one bit. It's like the public believes that if you're addicted to gambling, you're greedy. You morally failed. Something's wrong with you. And I hope to one day be a part of the change in that conversation. Listen, I don't think it's like 100% outside of your control, right? It's the blame of you versus the gambling industry. It's somewhere in the middle. But it's not 100% on the gambling addict who gets hooked to this. You know, it's a dangerous and addictive product, and that's what we're talking about. How do I feel about skill-based gambling versus other forms? I feel like if you're addicted to gambling, you're going to lose everything no matter what you do. Because once you start, you don't stop. Let's see. City, what's up, my friend? I'm sure you talked about this many times, but do you classify crypto and stock investing as gambling? It definitely can be. The way that I was doing it, it certainly was. I was buying 0-date options. I was day trading. I was buying risky, like, crap coins. Just trying to get rich quick. For me, that was totally gambling. Now, if you're going to buy and hold an investment for many years, that's going to be investing. I think it comes down to timeline and intention. You know, because you can say everything is risk reward, so it's gambling, but that's just being extreme. I think it's more realistic that you know the answer of is this gambling versus not based on how you feel about it. Let's see. I don't feel as though I have a gambling problem, but still enjoy and benefit from the content. Well, thanks for being here, my friend. I appreciate you, and I enjoy and benefit from you watching the content. So, when I say things like and subscribe to the channel, it's not because I really want to see the number go up for myself, right? I want that to be known. Like, when I tell you to like this, it's because I know that YouTube's going to send it to more people. If I tell you to subscribe to this page, it's because if you watch more videos, then YouTube's going to learn your viewer profile and send it to more people like you. It's kind of this chain reaction snowball type thing where I want to get more people in front of this content so that it can help them. And the reason I started making this content is because I wanted to help people. I hope it's doing that. How do I get my dopamine hit? I don't really, to be honest. Trying to replace that dopamine hit, it's like, it's so unnatural that you're going to probably end up addicted to whatever gives you the same hit. Like alcohol or drugs might, but you're going to end up with an addiction to that, you know? Only 23 years old, went up 250K, got married, and then went into a $200,000 debt. Shit. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I do hope that something from this channel can be helpful. Regardless of what your situation is, how much money you've lost, if you gamble to the point that it's possibly destroying a marriage, even if you're up money right now, that's a really bad problem. And I know that my gambling was heading that direction. I just don't want to see anyone going through that. Let's see. Was the holiday season in particular a hard time for me? No, it really wasn't. Because for me, I was someone that just gambled like every day. And so every day was a problem. Like, I wouldn't say the holiday season was particularly a good thing. But like, I had the same daily routine. It didn't matter if it was January 5th or July 7th. It was going to be, I was going to wake up and gamble on whatever I could access. Monica, thanks for the love. I appreciate that. I think that something that would have really helped me early on in my gambling recovery would have been seeing people putting out content that sounded like me, that could say like they were going through the same situation. Because I genuinely thought like no one could possibly be addicted to this, right? It's just me. Crazy. Are you addicted to posting YouTube videos? Are you addicted to talking to your YouTube guy? I have no idea, nor do I care. I just show up and I do my thing every day. And I get all types of comments that come in. Some good, some bad. But I just show up and I do my thing. Uncut Gems was a great movie. I thought it was a wonderful representation of like the mind of a gambling addict. Of course, the amounts are crazy, and like the situation itself was objectively a little bit nuts, but it kind of gets straight to the point. These cough drops aren't solving the problem. It's incredible. If you adopt a cat, make sure you're not allergic to cats. I'm allergic to him. Okay. Every season's a problem for Cowboy fans. Yeah, go Birds. But it really doesn't matter how well you know a team or how much you know a sport. If you gamble, you're going to eventually lose. But let me know if you have questions about gambling, gambling addiction, and addiction recovery, and check the description of this video for not only resources to get better, but also there's a link there to a company called Open Recovery. They've just launched a community feature where people are talking about their gambling addictions on there. They didn't pay for the sponsorship, so I'm just talking about them because I like them. Is there anything you can do to make sure you're not spending countless hours on social media despite it being my business? Yeah, I have something called Brick. Basically, you tap your phone like Apple Pay onto this thing, and it locks whatever apps you had set it to lock until you untap it. And so after I get all my stuff up, I try to like stop using socials after about an hour non-work related a day. Did I ever have a long lucky streak that had me thinking this is normal? Like a long streak that makes you think like this can happen again kind of thing? Yeah, all the time. But then it was followed by even longer streaks of seemingly bad luck. I kind of got into this like holding pattern where it felt like when things went good, they went really good. And then when they went bad, like everything in my life went bad. And it was just such an unsustainable way to live. Yeah, that thing's called Brick. I like it. Not affiliated with them, but I think they're cool. Let's see. Got a job interview Monday. You might have to give up your cat. Oh, I hope that you don't have to give up your cat. I'm allergic to him, but I take allergy shots. It's just that when I do these live streams, I sit on the couch. And I guess, like, he sits on the couch a lot. And it's just, like, the worst place that I could sit. But I keep doing it to myself. Oh, hey, Cole. I didn't realize it was you. I forgot what your question was earlier. I was just like, yeah, I'm reading. Is it an accountability partner thing? They have like an AI that can be an accountability thing, but I think the communities more resembles like a Reddit forum, to be honest. It's just a little bit faster, a little bit sleeker. Monica, thanks for the love. Appreciate you promoting in the chat down there. You're the GOAT. So, if anyone has questions about gambling addiction, feel free to ask them. I'm fighting through this allergic reaction I'm having live on camera from this cat. And hopefully someone asks a question that is something you were thinking, or maybe you should ask it because they might be thinking the same thing. Like, I'll wait for someone else to ask it. Gotta get this fixed too. Did you ever watch those influence commercials that you told me about? Can you remind me what they were? 3 days without gambling. Congratulations, Augustine. I hope it's forever for you as well, my friend. Yeah, but take things a day at a time. It'll come together. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to make the move over to the table. That's what I'm going to do. So, that'll cure me. I'm convinced. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But we're not going in the fridge tonight. That was bad the last couple of times. All right. Since I quit gambling, I've been having dreams of gambling at the casino. What does that mean? It means that you like the casino and you're thinking about it. There's no spiritual meaning, no addictive meaning. You're just having a dream. I don't contribute too much to dreams. I don't put too much value on like spiritual, symbolic meaning type thing with it. Yeah, you'll be okay. They'll go away with time. What do you wish those of us who aren't suffering from a gambling addiction understood better about those who do? Oh, that we can't just gamble less. Like, I hear that all the time. Oh, why don't you just gamble a little bit less? You know, why don't you just put a limit on yourself? Why don't you just bet responsibly? It's because our brains have developed a tolerance for what we are gambling, and it only goes up. We have to keep betting more to keep getting that same level of thrill. And once you get addicted to gambling, there's no responsible or normal type of gambling. So I wish that people understood that, you know, once you start, you don't stop when you have a gambling addiction, and there's no reducing it. The 5-5, thanks for what you do. Appreciate you speaking about the issue. Thank you, my friend. Gambling companies are probably the most powerful public interest group in America, and they just fly under the radar. No one regulates them. They say they're the most regulated industry. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I think it's all going to come crashing down brutally. We'll see if we make it. Tried limits, they work for a little bit. Yeah, it only works for a little bit, and it eventually backfires. Oh, what's up, Sean? How we doing, man? So Agello says they're basically betting small and it's making them feel good. I think it's just a matter of time until it spirals into a bad situation. It's like playing with fire. I don't think it's going to work, but it's your life. You do you. For me, those were just kind of excuses so that I didn't actually have to follow through with what I needed to do, which was quit. Does talking about gambling, although in a therapeutic manner, trigger gambling urge? I quit therapy because it would force me to think about gambling. No. If you are looking for an excuse to gamble, you'll find it anywhere that you want. It's not that you went to therapy. You would have, if you didn't go to therapy, you would have been walking down the street and you would have seen a sign for FanDuel and you would have said, oh man, this is a sign to gamble. If you want to gamble, you'll find any excuse to do it. Therapy is a really good thing, and talking about it is the hard work that you need to do to really get better. Cool, that's wild. That your grandma loved watching you gamble in your dream. That, dude, you need speaking of therapy. What do I think about YouTube gamblers? Are they real winnings? No. Do they only show the winning side? Yes. If they show the losses, it's downplayed, it's comedy. I think they're doing horrible things and they're going to end up ruining millions of lives, honestly. Randall, you like the most recent video? Thank you, my friend. I did that like unscripted. Sometimes I script, sometimes I don't. And that one was just off the top of my head, just telling you about my life. You had a win right before you quit, S6. Sorry to hear that that's providing a temptation. But yeah, I hope that the account can help. Just know that like it doesn't matter if you win, because all wins are going to turn into losses if we keep playing. We're playing a game that's designed for us to lose in the long run. Do I have an opinion of countries not allowing gambling? No, I don't really know. It's like, what would my opinion be? Good, bad? I don't know. I've never been. If we outlaw gambling, gambling would still happen. What we need to work on is the marketing. Gambling is pushed as normal, and it's pushed onto Americans by the government. Like, gamble, sign up for this, and the government gets a cut of it. Everyone's happy except you. It's kind of a bad deal. It's not that gambling exists, it's that it's marketed as something that we need to do. That's the real problem, I think. Ivy, thanks for being here. Yeah, gambling can absolutely make you lazy because when we get addicted to gambling, the amount of dopamine that it gives us becomes optimal for us. And we don't want to get our dopamine from anywhere else. We want to get it from gambling. So everything else kind of goes to the side. It's like, yeah, it's not as pleasurable. It's not as fun. So we go and we gamble. How can you become a therapist for gambling treatment? I I guess go to therapy school. I don't know. I'm sorry. What's good, Z Funny? You had a 5K Twitter giveaway. Oh, you won a giveaway, and now you're finding it hard with gambling urges. Any tips to stop yourself? Find alternative things to do with your time that you care about. Limit your access to money, so have a family member control your bank account. Self-exclude from casinos, and in your case, maybe it means unfollowing accounts on socials or limiting your access to socials for a while to fight through those urges, and then going to support group meetings for gambling. Do I watch other recovering gambling addicts on YouTube? um, I watch a lot of Pokemon content, to be honest, my friend, but I've seen a lot of the other people's content here and there. Yeah. I'm friendly with a lot of people that make content in the space. There's not that many of us. Agello, I would definitely go and see a professional. If you're struggling with physical withdrawal symptoms from gambling, it means you probably need to see a professional about it, to be honest. Do I still have cravings? No. It's been 3 years. There's no difference between gambling ads and an ad promoting fentanyl. Everyone would be outraged to see an ad promoting fentanyl, but we see how many gambling ads per commercial break? It's just kind of, yeah, it's just not treated the same way, even though it can do as much damage. For those new wanting to quit, just know that everyone who has ever quit has been in a very similar boat. Going to therapy and support groups is big time. I mean, trying to do it yourself just kind of gives you a straight up excuse to keep it from everyone else. I think the real value in doing group therapy or even just becoming accountable to one person is like you have to tell them the truth. Whereas if it's just you, you'll have the thought of like, oh, no one's gonna know. Who would ever know if I'm going back in gambling? So I like the idea of becoming accountable to a group for that reason. 2 years a week ago. Congratulations, Bonanza. That's awesome. Love to hear that. Keep losing your money, can't stop. Hopefully this account can help you out, my friend. I made my last bet over 3 years ago. I talk all the time about what I did to quit. There's actually a video linked in the description called How I Quit Gambling. It's about an hour long, a little bit long, sorry, but it could be worth the time. And, if you enjoy the content, if you're looking to stop gambling or you're looking to help someone stop gambling, then maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. We're going to try to reach as many people as possible with this message, and you being here goes a long way. Do I think Pokemon's a form of gambling since you lose money on most packs? Totally, yeah. I don't do the trading card because I would get addicted to it. I play the video game. You like the Wednesday lives, Monica? I appreciate it. I do my best to get on here when I can. How do I get out of gambling debt? I worked for like 60 to 80 hours a week for 6 months. But I think what's really important is that you have an understanding of how long it's going to take you and what you need to do. Because if you don't, you're going to think to yourself like, oh, I'll just gamble my way out of this. This is the only way. This just doesn't work. How many winning gamblers seem to find my way to my channel? Yeah, it happens a lot. I don't think that a lot of people make content about not gambling, right? So it naturally kind of gets lumped in with gambling content. And then a lot of people get mad when I tell them that, hey, this is an addiction, or hey, like you might have a problem, because it's probably the first time that anyone's brought that idea into their mind, right? And think about it. When someone told you in the middle of your addiction, like, hey, I think you have a problem, you're like, no, I don't. Shut up. I'm fine. You have a problem, right? So people perceive me to be the bad guy, but I don't really take too much offense anymore. I did in the beginning, but now I kind of better understand that people are just kind of projecting their feelings onto me. I'm just out here doing my thing. So if you have questions about gambling addiction, drop them in the chat. Doing my best. I'm eating these cough drops because every time I go live, I start choking. When you win, the casino's just loaning you money. I like to say all wins are future losses, but yeah, same idea. Sports betting is illegal in Texas, yet you still saw sportsbook ads. No shock there. I think that's partially why Oklahoma has the worst gambling rate, is because like all the casinos on the border of Oklahoma and Texas, to try to attract people from Texas to go and gamble there. Favorite gen in terms of starters. Oh, we're on Pokemon talk. I like I'm bad with the gen numbers, but I like the Litten Grookey gen. I didn't even play the game, but now that I play like competitive Pokemon, Incineroar is the GOAT. Contemplating going to your first meeting tonight. Any advice? Just go. I made a bunch of excuses. I was like, yeah, this meeting's not for me. They don't get me. I'm not like them. And I kept myself away for a while. And then I went, and I heard this story of a guy. He told his story. He was hooked to scratch cards, and he had scratched so many in his car that the shavings had gotten above the gas pedal, and he couldn't drive his car anymore. And I was like, oh my God, that's insane. I'm nothing like him. And then I was like, what if I printed out all my sports bets? Would I be able to drive my car? I don't think so. And I realized that even though we had gambled on different things, we were the same. We had the same addiction. And so go and see if you can relate to the people and try to relate. Don't try to make it so that you're different, because you're probably not. What's up, Trey? I hate this idea. Oh, actually, I don't hate it. I think that I'm really happy to see that someone like Jacob's in this chat. You can only lose 100%. You can lose a lot more than 100%. And if you've ever lost 100%, you wouldn't be making that comment. So it means that this found you early enough, my friend. I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that one day I can help you. I could fight with you. I could argue with you. I could get upset with you. But I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm here, and this account's here, and it's not going anywhere. So if you ever need help, just come back. How do you stop gambling when it's hard to self-exclude? It's hard to self-exclude, but self-exclusion is not really the answer. It's part of the solution, but it's not the only part of it. So basically, the 4 things that I did were finding alternatives for my time, limiting my access to money that would tempt me to gamble, self-excluding, and going to support group meetings. The self-exclusion aspect was just to make it more difficult to access. Not impossible, but more difficult. It's never going to be that you're going to be able to remove all your access to gambling, but you need to put some distance between the thought and the action, and that's where you can make a big difference. Check out the video in the description. It's called How I Quit Gambling. It dives into those 4 things. Biggest things that you lose in gambling addiction are not money. Absolutely. Absolutely, my friend. It's the time, the energy, the productivity. You're losing a lot more than money. Yeah, Augustine, thanks for being here. Yeah, self-exclusion is just to make it more difficult. It's not an overall solution. Just make it more difficult. Appreciate you, Peter. Thanks for being here. Stopped 8 days, did it every 4 days, and lost always. Feels so much better. Congratulations, my friend. Hopefully you're able to stay clean. Keep getting better. Excuse me. So, obligatory plugs. If you haven't done so yet, just consider hitting the subscribe button. We put out content each and every day here on the channel, aimed at helping you to live a better life than I did. Avoid making the same mistakes that I did. So, just consider it. And then, this video is not monetarily sponsored, but check out the description for information about Open Recovery. They just launched a communities feature, pretty comparable to like Reddit forums, but for people who are specifically in recovery from gambling. So check it out. Oh, Jacob, you weren't trolling. Okay. I better understand now what you're saying. You need to get through your head that, hey, losing 100% only needs to happen once, and you need to keep winning over and over again to end up with your big win. Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of get it. I wouldn't have made the point myself, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So let me know if you have questions about gambling, gambling addiction, and addiction recovery. And I'm going to do my best to not choke and die on stream. Pounding down cough drops over here. It's lovely. Lovely stuff. So, how long has everyone been clean? If you're in the chat right now, let me know when your last bet was. And we'll just keep this ball rolling, you know what I mean? I can also just talk to myself. I can entertain myself. Nothing good ever comes from gambling. I mean, in the short term, it can feel good, and you can see some short-term wins, but if you keep going, it's always going to come crashing down. Content's good. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Did I have any final straws before actually quitting? Yeah, February 8th, 22. It was the original day that I was going to, like, actually stop. And it was because I spun away all my money on a toilet. And I was like, I have no idea why I just did that afterwards. A lot of days like that. You know, after big losses, you say, like, oh, I'm never going to do that again. And then you find yourself right back at it. Sean here from the 9th of September, 23. Thank you, my friend, for being here. I appreciate you. You'd chase free play voucher losses. That's how they get you. You know, the free plays are just the bait on the end of a fishing hook, trying to get you to come back and spend your money. Should also talk about trauma and mental health after quitting. Well, ask me a question about it. I mean, I'll answer your question. If I started a hobby shop that did not sell or buy sealed product, would I help the gambling epidemic or hurt it? I have no idea what that means, but I'm just gonna guess that you would hurt it. Because if you're ever asking a question like, is this thing this or that, you already know what the answer is before you ask the question, and you want confirmation otherwise. I think that's been my experience with those kinds of questions. What's up, Marco? Let me know. If someone gave you $1 million to place a single bet, would you do it? Why would someone do that? A lot of people actually do drugs when they gamble or drink when they gamble, and it to them makes the experience more potent, but that's usually a marker of harm. It's usually a sign that it's a very obvious addiction. Adam, thanks for the love, my friend. Yeah, Monica, I hope that everyone here is on the right path. You know, you never really know, right? But having conversations, coming out, and just sharing my story, answering questions, it's the right thing to do. I hope that it reaches the right people. Sean says, biggest thing I had to learn personally is that life can be boring without gambling, but boring is peace. Absolutely. And trying to find something to sub in for the same level of thrill is just going to develop another problem. Do I have a girlfriend? Yes, she might still be here. She commented earlier. How does she feel about the channel and the work that I'm doing? I think she likes it. She usually helps out. She makes logos and stuff. So it's good support. Abraham, you're eventually going to lose that money. When you do, just come back. That's all I really have to say. This is a cough drop because every time I go live, I end up like choking on cat hair. It just floats around in the air in this house. And so I'm eating cough drops so that I can like speak, but it's not really working. It's a little better than in the past, but I don't know what the answer is. Like I might just start doing lives like walking down the street or something like that, like outside. I don't know what the answer is. Love the guy though, love my cat. But he's an allergy ball, just a dust ball. Why have cats if you're allergic? Because I'm a cat fan. Yeah, America's catching up to Australia. Also, for those that don't know, Australia, I believe, has the highest gambling losses per capita in the world. But America's on their way. We're going to keep cooking. What did I bet on most? Really, whatever I had access to. So by volume, it was probably tennis because there's more tennis matches. Only specific player? No. Everything was just a proposition. I bet on pretty much everything. There's no loyalty for someone that develops a really strong gambling addiction. We just gamble because everything is something to bet on. But if you have questions, let me know. Drop them in the chat. Leave a like on this video if you don't absolutely hate what you're hearing. It will help it to reach more people. What's the most insane thing that I ever bet on? I mean, like, the things that sounded the weirdest, I guess, were like ping pong and stuff like that in the middle of the night in like Asia, Russia, that kind of stuff. But I think that If I remember right, I think Bovada had like prediction market type lines before that was a thing. I remember betting on like the end outcome of Game of Thrones and losing, which was annoying, but to be expected, I guess. Stopping gambling on New Year's Day. Okay. Setting some goals for yourself. I hope that you're able to do it. I hope you're able to stick to it, my friend. Yeah, big time streamers can absolutely add to people's addiction, normalize the behavior. Steve will do it. Aiden Ross, Drake, these guys. Absolutely. Should sports betting be illegal since so many is rigged? I don't know that it's rigged. There's no way of proving that. Should it be illegal? I don't know. It's a little too late, I think. Dome, I don't know what those are. So I don't have an answer for you. Forex markets can be just as bad. Yeah. The way that I was doing my stock trading and my crypto trading was totally gambling. It can be the same with something like Forex, absolutely. So it's really just like, if you're trying to get rich quick, you're probably gambling. Rachel, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Honest YouTube is the best YouTube. I can agree with that. I do my best to just show up and make videos that honestly just tell my story and answer questions that you might have. 15, you like the content. Thank you, my friend. My content's definitely not here to help you stick to a budget with gambling. Hopefully you're the one person on earth that works for in the long term, but it's your life. You do you. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, my friend. It's been my experience that people with gambling addictions eventually spiral, and we try to do these small bets or stick to budgets so that we can justify continuing doing something that we know is hurting us. I love seeing people that very clearly need to be here. I'm really happy that you're here. If you're having withdrawal symptoms, please talk to like a professional. I'm putting out a video about withdrawal, but it's like you gotta white knuckle it. And if it's not working, if you're like physically in pain and danger and stuff like that, you should really be talking to a doctor. You know, it's not just like embracing boredom at that point. It's like maybe a detox kind of situation. I didn't experience that personally. Rachel, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. If he does ever decide that he's ready to quit gambling or maintain his gambling sobriety, hopefully the account can help, or I can put you in touch with some professionals. Any advice? Talk to him. You know, if you're concerned about someone, talking to them, being open and honest with them about how you're feeling is really valuable, because then it kind of allows you to figure out where they're at. Japanese third league basketball. If you've ever seen anyone in Bali play basketball, you definitely have a gambling problem. ADHD and gambling sucks. I think that's pretty much me. I'm undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I know what's up. What did I replace my gambling habit with? Trying to replace it with something else, you'll just get addicted to it. But in terms of what I spend my time on, it's been my work, my content. It's become my purpose. But if you're trying to just get that same level of thrill, you're going to end up addicted to something else. One thing I found in these days is that urges usually go after 5 to 10 minutes of resisting the urge. Gonna need a explanation on the phrasing of that, I think, but your urges last about 5 to 10 minutes and then they go away. That seems pretty normal. Rachel, your brother turned from alcohol to gambling. That's pretty common, I think, is switching from one addiction to another. At that point, it might really be worth some counseling, some professional help. I work with a recovery center called Right Choice Recovery. I highly recommend them. This stream's not about them, but if you need more information about them, please reach out to me. My email is linked in the profile, or just leave a comment on a video. I'll do my best to get to you. If you love gambling, you're in the right spot. Eventually, this page will be helpful for you. Larry, congrats on 72 days clean, my friend. That's dope. I'm happy to hear that. Keep it rolling. My advice to someone really struggling with this, I mean, the same as I would tell anyone. It's like, if you're struggling, just recognize that you're not alone. Make sure that you have a recovery plan. So for me, it was finding alternative things for my time, limiting access to money, self-excluding from the casinos, and going to support group meetings. Those 4 things together maintained my sobriety for the last 3 years. Oh, Joshua, thank you so much for the donation. No one needs to send any money at all, but it's really appreciated when people go out of their way to say thank you. So I just really appreciate that, my friend. And yeah, I'm happy to help others. I hope that the content does help others. You know, sometimes you put out videos, they don't get as many views as you wanted them to get, and you think like, oh man, is this really worth doing it? So getting comments like that really reaffirm that my purpose is aligned with my actions nowadays. If you're struggling, you're in the right spot. I made my last bet 3 years ago. Hopefully this account can help you. Do I still get urges to gamble? Not at this point, Paul. It's been 3 years. I'm in a good spot. And I know that if I was to gamble, it's going to turn into a loss, right? It doesn't matter if I win when I go back because I won't stop. Once I start, I can't stop, so it eventually turns into a loss anyway. Barry, you like the mission. Thank you, my friend. We're actually working on another mission that is very closely aligned to what I've been doing that I think is going to be really, really impactful. And I wish I sounded more energetic about it, but I'm just trying to fight through not coughing on stream because I'm swallowing a bunch of cat hair that's been floating around in the air. But I appreciate you being here. Can't find my email. I'll say it out loud here because, I mean, it's on there. I just don't think I can type in the chat. Let me see. So it's robodaat@gmail.com. robodat@gmail.com is my email. Do I ever watch other people gamble? In the beginning of my recovery, I thought that would be a good thing. Like, oh, I'm watching them, I'm not doing it myself. The truth is, though, like, you start to live vicariously through them. You start to think about gambling in a way that's not healthy. It really prolongs the addiction. It's not actually a good thing. Cough lolly ASMR. That's pretty much what this is, yeah. Patricia, thanks for being here as usual. I do hope that one day the videos are able to click and they're able to help. But, you know, it's more than just watching a video, right? I can't get you to stop gambling if you don't want to stop gambling. The videos are here to provide you with the tools when you're ready for yourself. But I'm not there. I'm not making the decisions for you, you know? Do I think gambling is passed down from parents, or do you think it's mostly environment related or the lack of money? You're listing a bunch of reasons that someone could develop a gambling problem. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it could be a mixture. It could be one. It could be the other. You know, it's really dependent on the person. Can't stop watching poker vlogs. Okay. Well, what are you gaining out of them? Let's figure it out. Let me know in the comments. Like, what are you gaining out of watching it right now, in your own words? What do you do specifically on a daily basis to control gambling? I don't really think about it on a daily basis, to be honest, but I put plans in place a long time ago, finding alternatives for my time to keep myself busy, move towards a purpose. In the beginning, I had financial controls in place. I had my family manage my bank account, self-excluded to make it more difficult to gamble, and went to a weekly support group meeting. Yeah, phantom betting is basically the best term to describe it, Sean. I just didn't know it was an official term. Been watching a lot of the Mickey Maze content. Yeah, I mean, it's really just a continuation of the problem in a different font. Ahmed, thanks for being here. I appreciate the kind words. I don't know you either, but I'm happy that you're here. I can still watch sports. They're just not that interesting, for the most part. I've actually heard a couple people that were former lawyers that lost their license because of gambling. Gambling addiction often impacts people in like really high-level professional roles, like financial advisors, lawyers, doctors. It's actually kind of insane. I still go to GA when I get the chance, yeah. My meeting is back home in Jersey, so when I go home to visit my family, I always go to a meeting. It's just the thrill that when you're away from the tables, you're watching the guys on high stakes, feels like you can get there and learn but you've learned the hard way. I think that poker is interesting because you'll probably be like, oh, they're there because they're really good. Well, they're there because they're knowledgeable about the game, but they're also being staked. People are funding them through the turbulence that is gambling. So it's the same. Why do you see the same people at the final tables? Because the same people are rebuying into the tournament a bunch of times when they lose. you're going to inevitably see the same kind of people. If we gamble, we're going to lose money. That's the reality of it. And the professionals are the ones being like subsidized in their gambling. More income means more ammo for gambling. That's the mind of a gambling addict. I'll tell you that. Chinchilla hair. Yeah, no, that would cook me for sure. I hope that the meeting's able to help, and yeah, please reach out. Good luck. Can the gambling make you feel angry? Yeah, it did for me. When I was gambling, I was just totally distracted. I don't think I was a very good person. And when I wasn't gambling, I was irritable because I wasn't gambling, right? Just sad or mad all the time. The radio ads for buying picks from professionals. I mean, dude, those are the biggest scammers on earth. Like, slot streamers are scammers, but I think the biggest scammers are people that sell sports picks. Because if you were really good at gambling, which you can't be, but say you were, why would you sell picks and not just make more picks, right? Like, if you're that good at gambling, why would you not just double your bet size? Why do you need someone to pay you $100 a month for your picks? It just wouldn't make sense. What should be done about underage gambling? We need to attack the marketing. Trying to stop someone is like, I think it's impossible. People are always going to be able to gamble if they want to. But we're marketing that this is something that's normal, this is something that's admirable, and something where you're going to win big with no implication that it can be a problem. Oh, so call us if you have a problem. Well, who thinks that they have a problem, right? The marketing needs to get shut down almost entirely. Because selling the picks is 100% income. Well, that means that you're not a good gambler if you need them. If you need that income. It's a big scam, and any kind of justification into it, it just shows like the brainwashing that's going on. I do try to meditate, Paul. Yeah. Some of the people sell picks because they are limited or banned. They could just sign up for another one. Like, there's no actual good explanation. There's a bunch of excuses, yes. There's no good explanation, no. Yeah, why wouldn't you just give them for free, right? Well, it was for the fun of the game, right? No, it's because that's the only way that they make money, is by scamming other people into thinking that they're good at gambling. There's only so many sportsbooks. There's thousands. There's literally thousands. I should make an ASMR channel. I'm only doing this because I'm dying from this cat hair. That's hilarious. Yep, it's the same as anyone selling you a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a scam. That's what it is. Obligatory plugs. If you've been enjoying the conversation, if you don't absolutely hate me, consider hitting the subscribe button. It will help more people to find the content. It's your free way of supporting the channel, getting this message to reach more people that might need it. Also, this video is not monetarily sponsored, but in the description, there's a link to Open Recovery. They have a new communities feature where you're going to be able to talk to other people in recovery from gambling. Check it out. Yeah, I know who Stu Feiner is. He's a paid actor. Paid your debts. Congrats, my friend. That's great. You won the lottery, but ended up getting into gambling and gambling it. Yeah, I know that feeling. Having a big win turn into future losses is pretty much the staple of a gambling addiction. A good thing to note is that gambling itself is rarely the problem. Why you're gambling is. You need to work with others to identify your root causes. Well said, Sean. I think that you should drop a video about it. I'll come and check it out. The wins don't feel the same and the losses hurt more and more. It's a horrible cycle. It's absolutely the progression of it, right? By the end of my gambling, when I would win, I'd be like, okay, that's what was supposed to happen. And when I would lose, I'd be like, I can't believe that happened. What did I do wrong? I can't believe this. I have to go get it back. And it was just this endless cycle. It was horrible. How much did you lose? I'm so glad you asked, because I'm not going to tell you. I always like to know why you want to know. Usually, it's because you want me to say a number that's more than what you lost so that I am the gambling addict and you're not. And if it's less than what you lost, you'll say, he's nothing to teach me anyway, I can leave. So rather than telling you, I tell you that I went into debt 6 times over the course of 6 years to the point where I had to work a second job to pay off the debt. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. And if it doesn't make sense, you probably don't need to be here. What kind of bets did I make? 5-leg parlays. It was everything. I started off with daily fantasy sports. By the end, I had memorized soundboards of slot machines and knew how much each bet had won or lost just based on the noise. I was doing straight bets as well, parlays. It was a mixture of literally everything. Doing steadily on Substack. Dude, you gotta get a video up like 3-4 times a week. You gotta get that momentum going. Let's get cooking. I never had to file for bankruptcy now, but there were times that I was paying back debt with interest. Gambling is insidious because we're taught that money isn't everything. But at the same time, it helps. Yeah, it is troubling. It's like, you know what, it's only money. But then it causes all these problems in our life. But we're not supposed to aspire to more money because then we're greedy. It is a weird push and pull. What was the second job I took on? I was a bartender. Pretty bad one, actually. I was actually quite a bad bartender. There was this one time where I made, it was like, he ordered a double shot cocktail. And I made the cocktail with like 0 alcohol in it. And then like brought over a double shot afterwards and was like, dude, I liked you so much that I wanted to give you another double shot. And he was like so happy about it. But I was like, I actually didn't put any alcohol in that drink. I was just a terrible bartender. If it's very controlled gambling, it is okay to gamble. Yeah, if you want to make excuses for yourself, like, I don't know what am I going to do. You do you. You do whatever you want to do. If you gamble, you're going to end up losing money. If it's controlled, it'll be slower. If it's not controlled, it'll be faster. Same end outcome. Yeah, deposit matches definitely sucked me in. There was a point where I had like basically an account on every single sports book that I could find because I was just bouncing back and forth to get all the different promotions. Because I thought, oh, how could I pass this up? It's free value, right? Like all this kinds of crap. But yeah, it was free plays there to be the bait on the end of the fishing hook. Gambling covered up how anxious you were feeling, JB says. I wanted to feel anxious about something else. Yeah, gambling can be an escape. That's what's dangerous about it, right? It's like, I want to feel different, so I gamble. Everyone wants to feel different, but if you want to keep this insane artificial high going, it only lasts so long. So, guys, it's been 58 minutes just about since I started this live stream, so we're going to be winding in a couple of minutes. But a couple announcements. There's going to be a bunch of new videos this week. Hopefully, you see them. And if you like them, that would be great. Let me know in the comments when you see them. Hopefully, over the course of tonight, I got to answer the questions that you had asked. And I try to make these Wednesday night lives like a pretty regular thing. So hopefully, we'll be able to go live again in about a week, which will be 8 p.m. Eastern time on whatever that Wednesday is. So Wednesday nights, Eastern time. But yes, free play is the cheese in the mousetrap. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah, so I guess I said my goodbyes a little too early. I wanted to get this over an hour, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Thanks for the love on the stream, Moniker. I do my best to show up, and I battle through this cat allergy that I have, even though I have a cat. 11, my friend, I can tell that you're just justifying your own behaviors. Listen, no matter what kind of gambling you do, you're going to lose money. No matter how much you know about sports or how much you know about cards, you're going to end up losing your money if you keep playing. But you don't have to believe me. You can keep doing your thing. If it ever reaches the point that you want to stop, this account's going to be here for you. Imagine if pharmaceutical companies were able to give out free samples of fentanyl. Yeah, that's pretty much what we see every single day with the gambling. But, yep, we keep having it pushed upon us. My cat's name is Snorlax. Yes, I put him in some community posts every once in a while. He's my boy. Anthony, thank you for being here. I appreciate you showing up and engaging with the stream. And Sean, thanks for being here too, man. It's been a long time. Hopefully we can catch up soon. We should do another podcast as well. I think that'd be good. You watch 10 hours of my content. Thanks, Shrimp. I appreciate that. Yeah, Snorlax is the boy. He's a bit chunky. like myself. Blends right in. When I adopted him, he was like a little bit overweight and a little bit shy. Oh, perfect. Bring him in. Thank you for the golden poop to end the night. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see at the end. So, guys, check out the description for resources for more videos, and let's keep getting better together, one day at a time. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.